Alright, one more time. Hi, I, Sailor Moon Serena here, and today we're going to talk about the hate that Dic and also Cloverway get from a lot of Sailor Moon followers. Now, is the hate that the Dic and Cloverway offshoot get needed, or Pioneer, or Path Seeker needed? No. Now, a lot of Sailor Moon followers out there don't like the Dic or Cloverway offshoot because either it's skimmed, or names were shifted, or stead names were shifted, or strike names were shifted, or some followings weren't even worked at all, you know, and free followings becoming two and stuff like that. Now, a lot of that could be small picking, things that you should not make a big deal out of, but for some other ground they want to make a big deal out of. They also want to, say that it's a show playing or the speaking playing or whatever you want to call it, and say that's bad. Now, keep in mind these folks only chose to start hating my show, or at least the Dic and Cloverway offshoot of my show, after they learned about the Toei offshoot. So their unlike, or their hatred to it, man, that might be a strong word. Um, First off, I think we're going to talk about the show playing. Now, it's true that a lot of show players who spoke us and the Dic one, some of them were either from, the 4-1 Reichs or the settled land. And those English spoken in both those lands are near to each other. There's not really a big unlikeness between the two that I know of. But everybody keeps talking about how, oh, I don't like the way they spoke for them. Well, I don't know what you wanted, what your standards were. I don't know if you wanted someone speaking Dawnlandish English or whatever you wanted. I don't know. Why make a big deal out of it? But they do. Then they get angry about how a lot of things were cut out and a lot of things were put in. Which I don't have an answer for you being angry over that. The names being shifted? I mean, come on. I mean, not everyone knows all these Dawnlandish borrowed names, but folks who speak English would most likely know a lot of the French or Latin or Greek or Hellenish borrowed words, borrowed names, besides the English names too. Well, yeah, you should know English names. Um, so yeah, they had to shift the names to borrow names that folks speaking English would know more of. I don't know why you made a big deal of that. And then another thing you made a big deal out of was, oh, you felt the unstraight folks were not being handled right. Keep in mind the grounds to why Zoisite had to become a woman, or later on why Cloverway had to make, Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune near kin, was that this show was being made for kids. And a lot of bearers and keepers felt that their children, or a lot of folks felt, that it would be not good to have a show with folks who were unstraight in it. A film for kids, a show for kids. So a lot of folks thought that that was wrong, and Dic and Cloverway didn't want to get in that bind where they would have to be dealing with these folks. So they had to make Zoisite a woman. They had to make Sailor Uranus and Neptune, near kin. And you folks think that was a bad thing. You folks behaved as if they were handled the wrong way, and I don't think they were handled in any bad way that I knew of. I think they were handled in a good way. Now you're probably thinking, oh well, Viz didn't have to do it. No, because by the time Viz got the rights to work with all the Sailor Moon stuff, Viz didn't have to deal with the same shit that Dic and Cloverway had to deal with back in the day. So that's why Viz didn't have to do any of that stuff. Um, then you folks also like to, you like to talk about how, oh, Viz is the greatest offshoot out there. Well, alright, I'll give you that. You know, you folks like to behave as if, sorry for that burp, but I think some of the things you folks bitched about was wrong. Dumb. And some followings not being skimmed, not being done at all, I don't really have anything to say about that. I don't know why they weren't done, they just weren't done. And then you bitched about the songs, and then you bitched about, oh, I don't like the songs, and then you also bitched about the Sailor Says thing, which back in the day there was an oversight, which isn't a thing anymore, but there was this oversight that the FCC made back in the day, or, you know, that said that Farseer shows had to have, that Farseer Folkworks had to have some learning time on their shows, and if you didn't have it, you had to put it in. So, yeah, that was why a lot of shows did that back in the day to meet that oversight, and my show had to meet that oversight too. It's not a thing anymore, but it was an oversight at the time. And another thing you folks like to do, this has really nothing to do, is you like to say, oh, well, you're not a true Sailor Moon follower if you like the Dic or Cloverway or Pioneer or Pathseeker offshoot of Sailor Moon. I think that's dumb to say that. You know, getting angry over a drawing film or a drawing show, which you folks, if it wasn't, you folks didn't know anything about until between 95 YL, and be earnest with it. You know? So at the end of the day, the hatred or the things that you folks make a big deal out of are not really a big deal to others. I don't know where the hatred came from. I don't even think hate's the right word for it. But whatever. You know? So anyway, that's the end of my film. If you like my film, then follow me over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the other film I made yesterday over here with Sailor fighting Omos. Sailor Moon Serena, and I'll see you later. Bye.